Peace, y'all. Wherever you are and whoever you are, if you are watching this, I hope this video is reaching you in the best of spirits. And if not, just know that I am sending you all of the best. Love and light, peace. It is never too late to take control of your day. And it's important to remember that. We're back with another video. This is going to be a Q&A. So these questions are questions that the people that follow me have for me about being vegan. This is specifically about being vegan, right? So we're gonna get into it without further ado. So the first question, I think like 3 people have asked me this: do I get food cravings? What they mean by it is, do I get cravings for food that are not vegan? To be completely honest with you, I've been vegan for 4 years now, and no. Like 3 weeks ago was the first time that I woke up and fish was on my brain. The reason why I think fish was on my brain is because I have been door dashing and Uber eating as a side hustle, and I live in New Orleans right now, and I pick up a lot of orders that have to do with seafood and stuff, and it never entices me. It doesn't smell tempting. Of course it smells good. It smells delicious. I mean, the seasonings that it's cooked in is gonna make it smell good, but I never be like, oh my gosh, you know, da-da-da. But the other day I woke up and I was like, dang, some fried fish would hit right now. And just like that, it was a thought in the past. It's like somebody telling you that you can't eat something because it's going to threaten your life. You're not going to, hopefully you're not just going to go eat it and be like, well, I guess it's the way I'm dying. Like, now that I know what I know about food and I know what I know about the benefits of the lifestyle that I've chose, it's not as simple as, oh, I'm going to get this craving and I'm going to go eat this. What also prevents craving is fasting, cleansing, right? Being just disciplined. So there's just a certain level of discipline that's came with the level that I'm at. So the next question is, how do I keep it so affordable? I'm gonna try to explain this the best I can. Veganism is always going to be expensive if you are walking into the store trying to make your whole grocery list, fake meats, fake cheese, right? It's always going to be expensive. If you're going in the store with the idea that you have to find some name brand expensive product to replace the foods that you were once eating, your budget is going to look crazy. Eating plant-based is literally the absence of animal products, which means beans, grains, veggies, fruits, all things that are within the normal affordability scope. Now, of course, you are going to be buying more of those things more frequently because the time in which they go bad and how you have to eat them and get rid of them. But again, the budget doesn't look any different from when I was eating meat or when I was pescatarian. So I was pescatarian for 8 years. If anything, being pescatarian cost me so much more money than being vegan because fish is not cheap. Salmon, shrimp, crab, those things are not cheap. I remember being in undergrad and people used to be like, oh, make a seafood boil, make some da-da-da. And that's when they had to self-checkout without the cameras. Let's just say, you know, like, it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. And I was in college and it definitely wasn't cheap. When I was in college, I utilized EBT growing up. That's what we had, right? So I already was familiar with like how that worked, and I made that work for me, but it wasn't cheap. Being vegan, my veganism is not expensive. In general, it's expensive to eat these days anyway. Groceries in general are going up. So if you're going into the store and you're buying a bag of chicken for $15, right? That $15 that you just spent on that bag of chicken is just me buying a bunch of veggies, zucchinis, bell peppers, quinoa, lentils, sauces. I'm buying mushrooms, I'm buying taco shells, I'm probably gonna make enchiladas. There's not really a huge difference. I think that the people that say this the most are people who have like literally not stuck to trying to be vegan and are going into the grocery store like, oh, let me get this Gardein, let me get this Beyond Meat, let me get this. Things are pretty much priced the same when you're not eating processed vegan food. And there's all types of ways, going back to just doing our own research. Get on Google, affordable vegan meals. A bunch of links are gonna come up. If you feel like for whatever your circumstance is, you can't afford to be vegan 24/7. That does not mean that you can't be vegan 2 days out the week. That doesn't mean that you can't entertain a meatless Monday and you can have some three bean tacos, that you can't make some veggie lasagna, that you can't. Don't let that discourage you from still incorporating vegan or plant-based meals. Change between vegan and plant-based, just because that's just how I talk. A lot of vegans will say like, oh, plant-based is not the same as being vegan. Y'all get what I'm saying. I'm just mean to say meals that are absence of animal products, okay? Because labels sometimes get weird too, so that's why I just like to say plant-based sometimes. But yeah, how do I keep it affordable? I mean, the dollar market has veggies. I'm not going in the store. My veganism is realistic to what Kiera can afford. I'm not going to the store always aiming to get everything organic in the produce section. That's not sometimes what my reality looks like. Sometimes it looks like, all right, I have this to spend and I'm not eating out this week and I need to cook at home all 7 days of this week, right? So for the last 3 weeks, I've been eating at home every single day. The meals don't look fancy. It's nothing crazy. There's no field roast sausage. There's no meatless crumbles. It's literally mushrooms, pastas, tacos, making ramen at home, smoothies. Like, if you can afford to eat out more than once a week, you can definitely afford to go vegan. Because I'm vegan and affordability when it comes to eating out is just not eating out every day. No, not realistic for me. And that's another thing. Y'all want to go vegan and now you got to go to Monty's every week. If you're from LA, you know what Monty's is. It's a vegan burger spot. Or you got to go to Whole Foods every day and get the hot foods. Like, you can't, you're going to be broke as hell if you go vegan and try to eat out every day or you try to eat processed food. Like, that's the thing. You have to really adapt your mind to literally rely on plants and get out of the habit of eating fast foods, vegan or not. The next question is, how do I have the time? This question is funny. I have this post that I saved and I haven't posted it in a long time. I think I'm gonna post it, and it answers this question. It says like, somebody says I don't have time to be vegan, and the response is like, if you don't have time to take care of your health, then you're gonna have to make time to be sick, to deal with health issues, to have to take prescription drugs, to constantly go to the doctor, to rely on Western medicine, to constantly get a cold, to constantly be running around with your head cut off worried about a virus. As the human population increases and the government's efforts to keep us funding the health system increase, there are always going to be things that threaten our livelihood and threaten our health. And with so many things already trying to take you out, the one thing that you can have some control over and try to get some discipline over is how you take care of yourself. How do I make the time? Everyone eats. We eat every day. Your kitchen, and you choose what you're going to eat and you make it. I'm not in my head thinking like, dang, like this going to take me 2 hours. It took me 35 minutes the other day to make 1 pot lasagna. Like, when I meal prep, when I do have days where I meal prep, that's just a day where I would be doing nothing else but hanging out, scrolling on my phone, watching Netflix or Hulu. Like, I put something on, I go in the kitchen and I meal prep. There's no extra time being spent. So the way I see it, time is an investment, and what we choose to put our time in reflects our interest. Really high interest in taking care of myself and making sure that I stay as healthy as possible and that I can introduce future generations to healthier ways of living, because I don't want to continue to repeat the generational cycle of diseases that run in my family. Somebody asked they were worried about like not getting enough nutrients and vitamins. This week on Keto Health, we are actually talking about protein, and in that conversation talking about nutrients and minerals, and I definitely want to go more in depth about this in other videos and other posts. But make sure you're following Keto Health if you're not already. There's going to be no absence of nutrients and minerals if you are eating vegetables. So as a meat eater, you may be getting like, okay, protein, right? Protein is a macronutrient, so it's in every single thing that we eat. How much of that thing that we're eating, the serving size, is what determines how much protein we're getting. I personally would rather eat veggies and depend on beans and grains and other sources of protein that don't also come with negative side effects in the long run, right? So I'm not missing out on anything. Even vegan or not, you should definitely be taking herbal supplements. Not, you should definitely be taking your vitamins, right? So, yeah. So vitamins that I take like only every day, I take all of the B's. They are all in this one, you can kind of see like all of my vitamins and stuff up there. They're all in this one pill with ashwagandha. It's a stress relief pill. It's a supplement, and it has B12, B6, all the B's, which are good for bones, teeth, eyes, nervous system, all of those things, right? I take ashwagandha. I take maca root. I take zinc. I take all of those things are up there. I take elderberry. I take sea moss. So yeah, no missing out on anything over here. Hormonally, I'm doing fine, doing terrific. Yeah, if anything, I could probably stand to get a little bit more vitamin D. I did run out a few months ago and I need to restock. That's important just in general for our mental health. We're not getting that much sun, especially with being indoors. A lot of us are working from home. That has a lot to do with like depression and anxiety and just mental focus and clarity. So get your vitamin D in. But regardless if you eat meat or not, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Oh, somebody asked, like, like when I was first going vegan, like, did I ever cheat? Cheat on purpose? No. Did I ever eat things that had animal products in it and didn't know? Yes, absolutely. That wasn't like oh my gosh, I accidentally ate this. Like, I remember I was eating these products called Quorn, Quorn. You probably have seen it. It advertises as being vegetarian and vegan, right? But it has egg in it. And you have to be careful because a lot of things that advertise themselves as being vegan will have egg in it. And I don't know why people are separating eggs from being animals. It's a unalived chicken, like that hasn't been born. So yes, that definitely has happened. It happens. It happens. One time my mom bought me a collagen drink and I didn't know what, it was just advertised as being super healthy, marketing. And I just drank it with no question. I remember I posted on Instagram and somebody that followed me was like, oh my gosh, you're not vegan anymore. This is beef collagen, da da da. I looked it up and that day I learned something new. Okay. I wasn't like, oh, well, I already cheated, so I'm going to just go get me a beef burger. But most important is to come back to it. It's important to just stay and eat as clean as possible, right? Okay. Asked me what made me transition. So as I stated earlier, a lot of people in my direct lineage suffer or have been diagnosed with certain diseases and sicknesses that I want to skip me and my future babies and their future babies. So both of my grandmothers have breast cancer, right? I have aunts that have passed from cancer. My great grandmother, high blood pressure, diabetes, hypertension, all of the sorts of things that come with eating a American westernized black, right, soul food type of living. That lifestyle comes with consequences. Even if you don't see them today, it comes with consequences, right? The way that we've been taught to eat, which goes all the way back to enslavement of African people, is not healthy. It was never meant to be healthy. It was never meant to sustain us. It was never meant to keep us going. It literally, you are what you eat. So if we can get these people to eat like this, then they will lose all of their magnetic energy, their powers, their willpower, their brain power, be sick, so forth and so on, right? And if you'll notice, going back to this centering on Afro-veganism, the things that make us sick as a community don't seem to do the same to other communities, right? People are dying the earliest. We're not living long at all. We have the most health issues, but yet everybody's pretty much eating the same thing. So what's going on? Genetically, for the way that we are genetically made up, for our DNA, a lot of those foods are meant to destroy us, right? We have carbon in our body. Melanin is nothing but carbon. It has to be electrically charged. When you're not eating electric, you won't feel electric. So your body is just shutting down on you. And yeah, Black people look the best as we get older, right? But hey, from the inside out, if we looked like what we were eating, we would be cryptic. I was pescatarian for 8 years. Somebody was like, have you ever heard of Dr. Sebi? my life was forever changed. Weren't you alkaline vegan? I was. When I first these are like people that followed me like 3 years ago, when I first transitioned from being pescatarian. When I first went vegan, I was alkaline. If it wasn't on that list, if Dr. Sebi ain't say it, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I was so strict with it. Like, I didn't eat nothing outside of that scope. Like, everything was alkaline, blah, blah. And then growth happens. You learn new information and you are allowed to change your mind. Doesn't matter what it is. I got this book. I was gifted this book called Alkalize or Die. Book, he talks about how the body already produces a certain amount of acidity. So we are naturally acidic, right? So the goal in eating is to neutralize your pH. So acidic mucus and acidic blood is just perfect breeding grounds for all types of viruses and diseases, for cell mutation, which is cancer. So you want to stay as neutral to alkaline as possible. But to achieve that, you don't have to eat all alkaline foods, right? But it's best practice if you include alkalizing foods in every meal. And you have to go watch his videos for yourself. You have to read his teachings for yourself. The person online that's telling you like you're gonna die if you eat like a piece of white bread. You're not gonna die. It's just not healthy. It has no benefits, right? It has nothing beneficial for you. One transition. I have a video. It's older. I'm gonna still put it right here. On how to go vegan. It's old. I think I'm gonna do another one, but I suggest watching that video. How do you transition? You be serious about fasting and colon cleansing. You're gonna need to cleanse. I would even recommend a parasite cleanse. Like, you can skip the colon cleanse, do a parasite cleanse. You can order them off several different like health herbal websites. I'll try to link them in the description box. Do a parasite cleanse. I did a parasite cleanse when I first was going vegan. Baby, that's all of the questions. Thank you for watching. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much. I'm coming with the heat all 2022. Thank you so much for everybody who's like been here and been super supportive and loyal. Even if you don't comment on a video, I just appreciate it. If you like it, make sure that you're subscribed. Share it if you're feeling, comfortable. Share it in your text messages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, we're gonna be back with another video really soon. And if you haven't watched the other ones, please go do that.